Shut up and sit down.
Greetings! Welcome to Epic Fail, episode 198. That is at least 3 times that many Epic Fails, but only 198 shows. That's an average of 3 per. I think I did the math right.
Now, are there any shows that aren't recorded?
Of ours?
Yeah, like any that like you lost recording or something? Because I mean,
I think between Twitch and when other people were hosting, due to my crap internet at the times, everything got recorded, but the website issues and stuff like that, I'm just going to go ahead and bring this over to this screen. Between the website issues and then the hosting and RSS feeds and all that, all of them should be out there, but not all of them available on like download.
okay,
Like, YouTube should have all of them.
So at least there was 198 epic fails that you too at home can enjoy.
Well, I think enjoy is kind of a strong word there. All right. So first and foremost, hi Fraz, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I know I cut into the intro, but I was just curious because I love seeing like shows behind the scenes, the lost episodes.
I mean, I'm sure there's stuff that got cut out of the old ones back when I actually did a crap ton of editing and had the time to do it. And yeah, it was mostly dead air. And then just stuff that I was like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have that out in the public view. Like certain stories that Scarlett used to tell, I'd be like, yeah, we can put some of it in there. And then she'd reference it in another part. Oh, I'd have to cut that out too. And I'm just like, after a point, I was just like, okay, don't say anything you don't want everyone on the internet to know. Not that everyone on the internet is going to listen or watch, but just in case, it will be out there. Anyone could see it at any time, blah, blah, blah.
The internet writes in ink.
Yeah. So that was entertaining. So yeah, first and foremost, hi Fraz, I said that already. We have an announcement that'll be at the end of the show, but it's a doozy-ish, sort of. I don't have the normal energy I would have because literally minutes before the show, found out some sad news. So normally we would like go in categories, but I'm just gonna go with this one first, and that was iNControl. I believe he was one of the co-hosts of the Pylon show. Alessander will correct me on that within 4 seconds, I'm sure. Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Yep. He apparently got sick over the last few days, and then literally, yeah, he was a former StarCraft champion. He was really good at the game analysis and all that. Great caster. I've seen a couple games where he casted. Apparently he got sick, and then literally minutes before we went live, a tweet went out on his account saying, he passed away.
Oh.
So I've never met him, but everyone I've ever talked to who has always said he's a great guy. I can vouch for chat room saying he was very funny because his casting, maybe it was just his casting style or whatever, but he was always Yeah, it was. I know. I couldn't say anything bad about him. I didn't meet him, obviously, but
I can't say I've watched them in particular, but I was checking out Twitter and seeing all that he is trending right now, and seeing all the response to this.
yeah,
It's always tough losing somebody who's part of the community, somebody who, like, reading from the tweets, brought inspiration to people, made people's day better. I mean, he was a beacon of hope. He was like, see, even like Alessandra saying, funny guy. I mean, just it's always sad to lose someone like that. I'm reminded of the one that hit home to me from StarCraft was Total Biscuit. Total Biscuit was somebody that, when I heard that news, gutted me. So I'm so sorry for the family of Control and people that knew iNControl.
yeah, yeah. It's always strange how people you've never met, whenever you find out things like them passing away, how it can affect you, even if you've never met them.
Yeah.
Like I remember when this is a little bit tangent, but it applies. I remember when I heard about Robin Williams, and
Oh,
that crushed me for so long.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a weird situation where he kind of famous. I mean, he's famous in certain circles, like the Blizzard circles, and it was just yeah, no words.
Yeah.
But yeah. So moving on to kind of better news, but still not great news. Frank Pearce, one of Blizzard's co-founders, has decided it's his time to hang it up. And 28
years.
years. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know who that is, that's this guy here on the title art. I believe I met him in 2015's BlizzCon. Maybe not like meet, but I didn't get a picture taken with him or anything like that. But I know for a fact I at least walked by him on more than one occasion. So I've seen him in person, but more than I can say for a lot of the other Blizz people. But
And, like, I don't want to take the route that I already saw a site take, that Blizzard's bad news year continues. I mean, it's not great news to hear somebody moving away, but 28 years is a long time. I mean,
yeah, I made a comment in one of the Discords I'm in. I think it was the Rubber Chicken one, where I was like, look, it was either Rubber Chickens or the Lagging Balls one. I forget which. I was like, looks at the list of founders and people who helped start it up, looks at the list of people who have retired, notices almost the same list at this point.
yeah.
There's very few of them left. But then someone was like, well, times change, you got to move on and all that. And I was like, yeah. And then I realized that's when the whole 28 hit me. It has been like 28 to 30 years. It is time for some of these guys to like retire.
I mean, what's scary is he joined the Blizzard a year after I was born. So, I mean, it's that's really strange for me. It'd just be like, wow.
Yeah.
And like, have you heard if there was anything in between the lines on it, or like any reason why?
The only thing I could tell you there would be completely speculation, rumor. Because with all the other high-ranking Blizzard people leaving and being replaced by either someone else outside the company or someone down the totem pole, there's no proof of it. But it does make it look like, oh, they're replacing all the Blizzard people because it seems like Activision decided, hey, we're going to buy more of your company. Have more of a say in how you do things. Again, there's no as far as we know, no truth to that, but it does make it look like that with all this stuff happening over the last year. So, I don't know. Nothing official, I will say that. Alessandro, I love you sometimes. He lost his phone, so he can't play any of the new games.
Got it. Yeah,
He doesn't have a phone.
that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Thank you. That made my day. You have no idea how much I needed that just tiny little joke. So yeah. Obviously, we wish him all the best. If he decides to do anything in the future, keep our eyes out. But for now, I think he's just been like, yeah, I'm just kind of done for a bit. Which, after 28 years, especially in that kind of a job, I could, yeah, I would want to take some time off too and be like, I just want to do nothing.
Yeah, and I mean the Blizzard has changed from what it was when it first started. I mean, it was an RTS company,
Yeah.
so I mean, you there's no way around that. I mean, and
Yeah, it's changed for the better, it's changed for the worse. Whether or not one beats out the other, I mean, if you look at where they started to where they were, even when Wrath came out, it was still a different company because, I mean, they made World of Warcraft an MMO, and that became so huge so fast. It was like they basically had a blank check. They could do almost whatever they want. They had to, fix StarCraft before that, but Pigs in Space, I think, was the going quote, something like that. It didn't look good, but yeah, there's a lot of mobile stuff going around. As long as they keep making good PC games, I will still be a fan of theirs overall. I won't agree with every single decision, but I don't need to. To me, yeah, this was a rough year, but overall, Blizzard still has more pluses than minuses, even including this past year.
yeah,
It's just some of the minuses were, big, bold, and in 72 point print.
and I'm thinking back. Morheim retired
Last year.
in October. Okay, because I was thinking like timing wise for like that for BlizzCon and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was just before BlizzCon, and then he stayed on for a little bit for the help with the transition, and then he just was like, okay, my time here's up. I'm going to not do anything for a while. I'm going to do some of these interviews, and I'm going to talk about some of this stuff. Kind of thing.
Yeah,
But, yeah. I personally... Okay, so, if you like mobile games, I'm happy for you. There's a lot of them out there. I personally don't play mobile games. Like, I might load up a mobile game, and by that I mean play Gank, and that's really about it.
I was playing Tetris this weekend on
Yeah.
my phone. So I mean, I like mobile games I can get in and out of, but my main gaming is not mobile. My main gaming is on the computer and the
Yeah.
console.
I mean, yeah, I fully expect we'll get a lot of mobile games faster than we get a lot of PC games. But mobile games tend to be smaller, either in scale. I mean, obviously the screen's smaller, but the scale of PC games tend to be a bit bigger. At least from my experience. Whether or not that's true, who knows? Because you can technically play Vanilla WoW on today's phones.
Yeah, well, and like
And
I've got
it'll
iPad,
be better than what PCs were at the time.
and if you count the Apple TV or the iPad Pro has mobile, the iPad Pro is 12 inches. I mean, that's a small computer monitor.
iPad Pro is one of my nicknames. I'm not going to say why. Goes back to the whole pre-show conversation about gnome fetishes.
Oh my, giggity.
Oh my. No, that's a joke. But, I mean, I don't personally like I said, as long as they keep bringing out PC games that are good, they can make all the mobile games they want. It's not like it's the same people. It's more people doing it. But
Yeah. It's all this news is never good to hear because it always makes you worried for who's going to bring in and like who's going to continue the legacy of the company. I mean, and that time will tell. I mean, we still have Jay Allenbrack, who is part of it, and Jay Allenbrack actually had a letter about Frank's retirement.
Yeah, and as Alessandra pointed out, the only thing real PC related that they're doing is Hearthstone, which is available on mobile also, but it started PC, so we're going to count it as PC. Warcraft expansions, probably Diablo 4, maybe. And other than that, Overwatch 2 is rumored. And other than that, we don't know.
I like Leo Wild's idea that the mobile game should have a PC version of it, and I mean, with being able to port stuff better to like the Mac, because like the iOS and iPad will soon let you run those on Macs, and then on the PC, there's probably some way to port the Android version over to PC pretty easily.
Yeah. That would be the dream, right? You can every game you can play on PC, you can play on mobile. I mean, at this point, phones are almost as powerful as some of the lower end PCs, and some phones are more powerful than those. But
there was a game I found at Chaos Legends. It was a mobile WoW clone, and it was by Gameloft, and you could actually like whenever I was playing it, and it looked like you were going through Elwyn Forest. I mean, they basically copied everything from WoW into it. But it was amazing that I was playing WoW in a way.
Yeah, there's been so many mobile clones of so many different games that Blizzard has done. Like, there's a mobile Overwatch clone.
Oh,
believe me, there is. I've seen it. There was StarCraft. I mean, you name it, there's a clone of it. It doesn't, as long as it's a fairly famous game, there's a mobile clone. And now with Nintendo Switch, you kind of get the people who made the real games putting it semi-mobile-ish. So, like I said, as long as they keep putting out PC games, it doesn't even have to be all the time. Honestly, my main game is WoW, and whenever I don't play that, if I have time for something else, this week in particular, I played some Overwatch Lucioball.
Ooh.
Which, by the way, if you get put as goalie, stay as goalie unless someone covers for you. Do not run away from the goal unless you are 100% sure you booping the ball will be completely safe. Just saying.
Booping the ball, subtitle.
Booping the ball. We'll see. Yeah, I actually played Heroes this week too.
Ooh.
For the first time since November, December. I bought Anduin with gold, played 2 AI games with him, and then Thorn was streaming Heroes, which is why I loaded it in the first place. And I just played 2 AI games real quick because they were in the middle of a game. And I joined them for a game or two. So, I played Heroes. I was like, this is so different. I still remembered most of what I did. But, yeah, it was just weird to go back to that. I don't know how often I'll be playing it because it just feels different now.
It's going to sound really bad. I uninstalled a lot of the Blizzard games that I've not been playing because I was just running out of disk space.
Hey, that's fair. If you're not playing them, there's no reason to install them. That being said, I probably should start uninstalling a lot of the Steam games I have because I haven't played any of them minus Witcher 3 in so long. Like, I just went through and I started installing all of them. And some of them I have like one night of gameplay, and I consider myself, okay, I got my money out of it because I only paid like $5 for it. But yeah. Anyway, we actually have some StarCraft news that is not entirely sad, but still kind of what? So there's a site out there, and thank you for pointing this out to me, Alessander. Blizzard actually put a post on it, and it's, why is this in Chinese? It wasn't in Chinese when I looked at it. Alright, well, when I looked at it, it wasn't in Chinese. Now it's in Chinese. So I'm going to have to sum up. Basically, there was a Chinese website who called Cyril, who is not Chinese, but was kicking the crap out of a lot of them. They called him, I'm going to get this quote exactly right because I wrote it down, Grand Devil. Now, I know you want to be like kind of favorites to your own people. Like, if you're from NA, then you're going to kind of like, for the, we're going to talk about it here in a bit, the race for World First, you kind of want, if you're from NA, you're kind of rooting for Limit, unless you're just like a method person, because those are the number 1 and number 2 at the moment, and they have been for pretty much ever. But that doesn't mean anyone from NA should call Method Grand Devil. And yeah, Alessander saying that it was on the official Blizzard website, the Chinese language one. I saw the site I saw, the article I saw, was not from Blizzard. Like, I went and I found this one, and for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe I was remembering it was the other site that wasn't in Chinese. It makes no sense. Like, why? I don't get it. I'm just going to say I don't get it.
Pretend that I know what a Grand Devil is. What is a Grand Devil?
It's,
for those who may not know.
I in terms of what they actually meant, I think they just mean someone who isn't from their country, and so they're basically demonizing him as much as they can.
Oh,
which, okay, fine. Promote your own guys. You don't need to be like, no, this person's bad because he's not us.
Well, I mean, saying stuff like that is being very ethnocentric. I mean, it's
yeah.
We should not be. Okay, thank you, Alessander. So Alessander says, "Devil is what the Chinese people called foreigners." Okay,
yeah, kind of a racist thing.
I wanted to make sure it wasn't like a StarCraft term that I did not know.
No,
I was trying to.
That part I knew. I knew it was not. I knew it was not polite. We'll put it that way.
Okay. And
I don't understand why. Like, how did that get across the censors from Blizzard? I realize it's a Blizzard China, but you'd think that Blizzard headquarters would have some say in, oh, that doesn't get put up there.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be like me going around saying, yeah, I'm going to go kill all the gnomes because I can. It's not like they can do anything. They can't see above my knee anyway. But
wait, that joke was over my head.
Well, yeah, I'm a paladin. You can't reach the light. But
yeah, Ali says we will bite your ankles.
I wear plate boots, sir. Good luck. You'll break your teeth.
I've got strong teeth, and you never know. Maybe I like eating plate.
It does cut down on the dishes you got to do every week.
Exactly. I mean, when you're done, you just go.
Maybe. So plates are one gnome's fetish, and since Fraz is talking about it, that's probably his. So we've discovered his fetish. Okay. Now we don't need to go over there to Zandalar and do those quests, because we already know it.
For audio listeners, I'm currently eating my tourist cup.
See, I know it isn't the same, but I just, for whatever reason, while you were doing that, first thing popped in my head is, you will shoot your eye out. I was like, no, that doesn't apply, but it was funny in my head
It was.
anyway. At least in my
You
head.
got-
Whether or not it was funny for anyone else, that's another story.
Oh, there's a lot of funny things in your head.
No, there's a lot of funny and not funny, and there are things in my head that, yeah, we're not going to go there because it is a scary place.
And Kaffa, I will deny that in ICC I kept asking you to bite me, but I was bit by the
Lady.
vampire. Yeah.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Whatever you're into, didn't hurt anyone.
Nope. And I would have stopped, and I stopped because Kaffa said no. And if Kaffa doesn't consent, I won't.
Yeah, that's a lot nicer than my raid team was. I was forced into the biting when we were progressing in there. Admittedly, I was okay with it because it was always because of her. She would bite me because I was number one on threat. That wasn't a tank. So I was always first bit, which gave me a nice big haste buff.
And did you go, bloody hell?
No, I just popped my cooldowns.
Okay.
and watched your health bar just go. What was that? Bastion of Twilight, that first boss, the two-headed ogre dude. What's his name?
Cho'Gall.
No, it's before Cho'Gall. It's the very first boss. The one with the dragons. It's like Gore something or something like that. Gore, that, whatever. Either way, my raid team at the time was in there, and they were just like, your mobility sucks for now. You stay on the boss. Okay. Now, this is the time when Rhett had no real AoE worth a darn because Divine Storm hit like a wet noodle. And not just a wet noodle cut in half. Halfus. Thank you, Ali. That's his name.
I knew that our curator of Dungeon Lore would know it.
So the raid team would take care of all the other mechanics, and my one job was to interrupt his one cast, which would do it like a raid-wide interrupt and like make everyone stunned for a second, or a global, or however long it was. While they're going around killing everything, my DPS keeps going up because they didn't say stop DPSing. They just said make sure you don't miss an interrupt. And I didn't. But every time they defeated one of the side bosses, everyone's damage went up. And since I was the only one who never stopped DPSing, they eventually said, hey, you're going to have to stop DPS because he's almost dead and we still have one more of these things to burn through. And if he gets too low, it's going to pop everything and that's going to suck. So I literally had to stand there and just interrupt because I was doing, like, if you have like any of the DPS meters, like details, which is what I use, or anything else, SCADA, recount, you get those little bars, and there was my bar, and then everyone else's bar was like half. Because it was one of those memories. I'm like, yeah, that was a good time. I wish I didn't have to stop, because then it would have been fun to see your DPS just keep going up.
You like the big DPS.
Hey, yeah, I like being number one on the DPS meter. Sadly,
Absolutely.
It's really not easy for melee to do it unless it's AoE and you're a certain specific spec of rogue who does crap tons on AoE.
And if you're armed with the RNG that goes down. I know, Pete, I should probably start using Fury, but I'm addicted to arms.
I have 2 of them, so I'm kind of addicted.
That was a baseball. That was a full-on baseball.
For you audio listeners, this is me bowing at making him facepalm because he likes doing that to other people, so anytime you get him back...
Yep. It's karma.
Yeah. And getting back to StarCraft, there's one other thing.
Yes.
I kind of want it, but not at $300.
Yeah.
There's a nice battle cruiser, which is one of the Terran giant death machine ships. And I'm just like, oh, I really want... Oh, it's 300. I don't have 300, especially with some of the other stuff that I have in my online carts to buy. Like as it is, I bought a shirt and a couple other things yesterday after work. So I got to wait for them to show up, but...
Yeah, I know what I mean. I bought a limited edition Weird Al t-shirt.
Yeah.
Now, this looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks great. It's just that it's $300. Like,
yeah.
I would like to have it, but as Alessandro just said, I'd like to have $300 more.
Exactly. And
so
does it light up and do anything like that?
No, it's just a statue as far as I know. It's got a nice little base and a little clear stick you stick up its butt.
That's what she said.
I mean, hey, whatever people are into. As long as it's not hurting anybody. That doesn't consent to it.
Now, like, I hope Terran gets one of these for free, because...
I don't know that there's only 500 of them out there, so that really makes the $300 seem a little better. Because they're either only made or only making that many. So that's a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for those of you interested, pull it up. It is a Dark Horse product. Sorry for the glare for you video listeners. Put it in chat. Because I will be nice. There you go. And let's see, 15 inches, limited to 500. They're going to start shipping next year. And it weighs approximately 35 pounds, including the packaging. So, but yeah, it looks really cool.
And it includes a certificate of authenticity, but I have a bunch of those for different things, and like, no one's ever like, "Hey, I see your model that I need you to certify that it's authentic."
Well, certificates of authenticity are usually only good for when you go try to sell it later.
Got it.
So you can say, yeah, this is the real thing.
I'll never sell my toys.
I've got a couple certificates, and they're on autographs.
Ooh, okay. I can see that.
So, yeah, I was like, yeah, this is real. I know this is real, but I got it certified anyway. Because I knew people would be like, that's not real. He doesn't sign. I was like, yeah, he does. I was there. And they don't accept pictures as proof. Like, they actually have to go in and mess with it. But
wow.
Pictures help. Yeah. So if you go to, like, the certifying place, and you show them, this is a picture of him signing this with me in it. That's kind of helps with the, okay, yeah, this is real then.
So the only bad thing is that then when we get into deep fakes and stuff like that, then you could...
The problem with that, though, is you can almost always tell. They're getting... This is going to sound way worse than I mean it, but people are getting better at hiding the thin black or white or whatever color line that's surrounding the pictures. For like Photoshop in particular. They're getting better at that, but there's always something that gives it away, even if it's just a minor, this part of the picture is in a higher quality than the rest of it. Fake. Even if that quality is a difference of 1 pixel per square inch or something like that, there's always a tell. You just, might have to zoom into 7,000% to find it.
That's good, because because otherwise those I can see those places. Hey, I got it. This signed by George Clooney.
Yeah, but we want famous George Clooney, not the George Clooney down the street.
Oh, phooey! You know how long it took me to find that George Clooney down the street?
Well, you had to go outside.
Yeah, which is
So
dangerous.
so there's 3 hours. You had to turn left, so there's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You had to walk a block and a half, so there's another day and a half.
Yep.
I've seen how much you walk. That probably actually only took about 30 seconds.
Yeah. Though not in this heat. Oh, it is so hot outside.
Yeah. I'm not even going to talk about heat because I don't like numbers that start in 1 and end in O something.
Yeah.
Or end in 1 something. And are
There's
at
a
least
reason
3 numbers long.
There's a big reason I've not gone walking recently. And that's why.
Our low here last night at 3 a.m. is when it hit the low. Was 84.
Ooh.
That was the low. When I was at work in a building that has no air conditioning to speak of, it was 106 outside, not including the heat index, which made it feel like I think it said 115. It was warm. It sucked.
It is currently 10:40 and it is 79 degrees right now.
Yeah.
Right, exactly where I'm at. It feels like 82 degrees.
Yeah. Needless to say, on my way to work when it was only 97, yes, you heard that right, I stopped at a gas station and got a huge 44 ounce, I think is what it was, orange cream slushy. It melted halfway in the block and a half it took to get back to work.
Wow.
Yeah. It was warm. Anyway. Moving on.
Speaking of hot things.
Well, I mean, I already talked that I actually played Heroes this week.
True, yes.
Yeah. I had fun. I didn't realize there was a weird quest thing going on where you have to like build mechaterial or something. And I don't like each piece has 3 sections, which is probably for different tints. I didn't really look into it. I just picked one and I was like, oh, okay. I just made, honestly, what I did, I looked at my daily quests that I had, since you can only have 3 at a time. I was like, okay, well, I need to play this type of hero. And it said Tank or Bruiser. It needs to be StarCraft. And I have to play this many games. Okay, I went through Tank and Hero 1. Ding. Okay, that's the quest I'm going to do first. So, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I had fun, but again, it feels different now. So I don't know if I'll play it again anytime soon. But I did buy Anduin, so I'm still at 100% hero ownage.
Nice.
Again, finally.
And how is Anduin doing? Because we haven't heard from him in game. How is he doing in Heroes?
I mean, if you're looking at me playing him, then he's doing terrible. But overall, honestly, I think he's still considered one of the better ones, but I don't know because I haven't followed Heroes at all recently. Because I just was like, I couldn't be bothered. I know they're still doing tournaments and people are streaming it and all that. Like I still watch a few streamers that play it, namely Kyle Ferguson. I'll watch him when he's playing. But honestly, he's background noise when I'm doing something else, and I'll tab back in and talk. So it's more him than the game. But, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, for those of you wondering why my screen is not going completely hugely bright, I discovered an add-on for Firefox that enables Google Docs dark mode.
Oh,
Ha ha ha. So, my screen isn't going completely bright unless I try to load a page, and it just takes a second because it still goes white first. So yeah. So whenever I tab over and check the notes, it's dark. And I'm like, yeah. The only problem is it basically it inverts all colors. So it's not true dark mode where it just everything's dark. It literally is an invert where if something was highlighted red, it is now highlighted like turquoise. So I had to go back in and fix that. And also, I have Twitch in dark mode. So whenever it puts it back into dark mode, it's now in light mode again. So because it's literally just reversing the setting. That's my one complaint about it. Is it's not a real dark mode. It just reverses the settings.
Oh yeah, because I can barely see this right now. Because
yeah, but it's not perfect, but it's better than holy crap I can't see because it's white everywhere and it hurts my eyes.
Wow, that is really weird. I'm going between the two right now. My screen, I see my video changing
Yeah.
color.
Yeah. Ali, I will send you a Google link after the show.
Me too.
Yeah, I'll send you both one. Okay, so Overwatch. I already mentioned that I played Lucioball. That's the only Overwatch I've been playing is Lucioball because that's one of my two favorite game modes. Best game I've had so far. My team won 10-0. I scored 9.
Nice.
I was ticked because goal number 3 was somebody else who got rid of my hat trick. Because if you score the first 3 on your own, you get credit for a hat trick. It doesn't matter if you score 3 in a row ever again. It's the first 3 and that's it. But number 3 was somebody else because he stole my hit. It was going in, but he jumped in and booped it down and changed the angle, and it still went in. So he got credit. I got the assist though.
So he ate your hat.
Sure. But that was the game I got 5 gold out of 5 gold because I had an assist, and
nice.
I scored 3 from the goalie being the goalie. The other team just was like, "We don't care anymore. Just get this over with." And I looked at the score. I was like 7-0 with 3 minutes left. It's just going to be faster to go 10-0 on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Than just to let the time run out, which is what they wanted to do. I was like, no, it'll be faster. We just keep scoring. Because at 10-0, they mercy it. Mercy. And I have been noticing in Lucioball too, I'm hearing Hammond sounds. Like this him squeaking.
Interesting. So were they using Lucioball to test Hammond?
No, well, I mean, Hammond has a skin now that looks like the Lucioball ball.
Okay.
But no, it's me. It's my character. So I think you get assigned random characters, and I'm just getting Hammond all the time. It seems like, or there's just a sound glitch probably. And if the first is right, then you're just getting Lucio's skin over top of it, and you get those abilities, and that's it. So it's probably just a sound glitch because the other one sounds way too complicated to be like real.
That would be a fun skin then in other games. Be like you're playing regular Overwatch games, all of a sudden this Lucioball just comes out of nowhere. It's like, what happened?
So I opened some boxes and I have that skin. The Lucioball for Hammond. The problem is I have the pumpkin one, which I just love because it's Halloween, and of course I'm going to use Halloween skins all the time.
This is Halloween. Mm-hmm. This is Halloween.
Yep. I have a question. Speaking of that movie, is it a Halloween or Christmas movie?
Both.
Well, you can only pick one. You can't be both.
Okay. I would say it is Christmas.
Okay. There was no right or wrong answer. I was just curious where you would stand on it.
I'm also the same ones that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
I can vouch for that one. Okay. I'll give you that one.
Oh, and I actually enjoyed Shazam. And I don't mean the movie with Shaq or Sinbad.
You're talking the new one.
Yeah.
That I've heard it. I've seen most of that one. It wasn't bad. One of the better
Yeah.
DC movies. Although saying one of the better DC movies is like saying Thor: Dark World is the worst Marvel movie. It really wouldn't take much.
Yeah. It was like, I can't say there's any part of it that I remember the most of Shazam. It was like, I actually literally ate popcorn while I was watching it. So it was...
The charging the phone scene where he's just like choo 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 choo.
Yeah.
That I remember more than anything else.
And like, what the sorry.
Yeah. It had some good parts to it. And like I said, other than Wonder Woman, which is still, I think, the best DC movie so far, since Dark Knight, because Dark Knight Rises was garbage. But since Dark Knight, Wonder Woman has been the best DC movie to date. And then probably Shazam after that. And then
Yes.
Aquaman. Probably those are the top three in order.
Oh, and Jason Momoa. I mean, how can he not?
I mean, I understand why people find him attractive, but I'm not one of them.
But speaking of hot things, Overwatch is a hot thing.
Yeah, I was on fire in Lucioball a lot. Or at least that's what he said. You know, but what was that? What's that basketball game?
NBA Blitz?
No, heating up. NBA Jam? Is that it?
Yeah.
Where you would be like, oh, he's on fire. Yeah. So I was on fire a lot in Lucioball. But I don't think that's what you were talking about.
No, because right now, the Overwatch is having the Summer Games. Boom, 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 boom.
Which is Lucio. Yay! Lucioball. Basically, if you haven't been paying attention, Lucioball is quite literally Rocket League with Lucio and not cars.
Yes, and that game is great, and I think it's awesome that they wanted to try that game in Overwatch. I mean,
yeah, anytime it's Lucioball, that's the game I tend to run into a lot because I don't suck at that version of Overwatch.
Me either.
I'm not great, but I don't suck. Sometimes I have a little bit of bad luck where I might lag at the wrong second. But, you know, it is what it is. But there's something else going on in Overwatch that they're getting some flack for.
Why would they be getting flack? Because I think this is a pretty cool idea.
Well, I like it, but they're getting flack because people, like pros, don't. And people will just listen to whatever pros say because they're obviously right because they're pros. Doesn't mean they are right. But forcing 2-2-2, 2 tank, 2 healer. Oh. Had a little bit of a hiccup on my internet there.
Mine too.
Yeah. Okay, so they're forcing 2-2-2, which is 2 tank characters, 2 DPS heroes, and 2 healer characters, which is basically aimed to get rid of 3 tank, 3 healer. Which was what all of whatever that last season was. Like every now and then you'd have a DPS. And it got stale and boring real quick.
So it's kind of like bringing over the WoW looking for group.
Kinda, yeah. But you can queue up as specific roles. And then I have not done this yet because I've only played Lucioball since they announced it. But apparently it's live. If you queue up as tank or healer, you have faster queues. Just like in WoW. And every other game that has tank and healers with queues. And I'm pretty sure you are forced to pick one of the characters in that role. Like if you queue up as tank, you cannot pick DPS. That's
smart.
That's what I would do if I was them, because otherwise people are like, I'm going to queue for tank or healer and then pick DPS anyway.
I did that one time accidentally, and wow, I accidentally queued as a tank for LFR, and the raid's like, okay, you need to tank this. What? And I queued as. I mean, our guild got in like that because it was a guild run. But so thankfully, someone else in our guild was a tank, and they were on the run, and they said, "Okay, basically, you just stand there, whack it with the stick, and I'll do something."
Whack it with a stick.
Phrasing.
Yeah. I have also queued up as a tank or healer, but usually only for like the events, like the Valentine's Day event or Headless Horseman, something like that. Things you don't actually need a tank and a healer for, but one is better than zero. But if you have both, great. And I would just, you know, or I would ret tank because you can't. They couldn't kill my ret paladin, so it wasn't worth it. But yeah, 222 is a thing. It's meeting, we'll call it mixed reviews. Kind of like a certain movie involving a lion out now, meeting mixed reviews.
That just scars.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, it's a wonderful phrase.
Yeah. No, from what in all truth about that movie, people either are really liking it or really just been like, whatever. There's been no one saying it's garbage. So.
Yeah, I think they tried hard with it. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm only going off of what I'm hearing. I think they tried hard with it, and it's going to land multiple. Like I liked Beauty and the Beast, the live action, but some people didn't. So I get it.
No, it's more that they didn't change hardly anything. So if you watch the cartoon, you pretty much know exactly beat to beat what's going to happen. That's the biggest complaint that I've heard, is they didn't change enough to make it really, other than, oh, it looks pretty now.
Yeah, they've done that with like the Beauty and the Beast and like Aladdin. I mean, they're pretty much beat to beat.
Aladdin changed quite a bit actually, because they had to. But anyway, not a Disney movie podcast.
No, not yet.
No, not ever. Maybe Marvel movie at some point. We'll have episodes of just Marvel stuff, but
okay.
Then we'll be completely copying Azeroth Roundtable just every now and then. Yeah, we're going to talk about Spider-Man. Not a dig. I love those episodes.
Me too. Those are good episodes.
Yeah. So, Warcraft, since we brought up, Warcraft in the 222 thing. Race to World First. As of right now, we have 2 guilds, 7 of 8. They're both on Queen Ashara. I believe, I'll have to check. Which means I gotta turn dark mode off, crap. Method is done for the night? Nope, they're still there. Okay. So Method is currently on Queen Ashara. They're progressing. Alessandra's saying 75% at the moment, which is much better than the 96% that I haven't watched. Because that's when I stopped watching earlier. They were at 97%. So they actually did a little bit of damage. So they're making progress. Limit got there first. I believe they've made it to 67% on Queen Ashara. So right now, Limit is ranked 1 and Method is ranked 2.
They're definitely pushing it to the limit.
Yep. There's a madness to their method.
Yes.
Or a method to the there's a method to the limit? I don't know. There's a limit to their method madness. I don't know. Anyway.
In third place is going to pieces.
But yeah, and Message Stream, they're doing a charity thing where if you donate, whether you troll the casters or not, all the money is going to save the children. I, under one of my many Twitch aliases, donated $5 because I could. They read my message online because it wasn't a troll. It was just... But I don't want to give that particular identity away, so I'm not going to say. But they read it online. There was a lot of people who made their quote-unquote donator names interesting. I will say the long version of his name, Michael Roch, donated. But he went by Mike. There was a Jenna Tools that donated, among other things that shouldn't have gotten by them, but did. You have to say it fast, Frazley.
Okay, I got the second one. Now I'm thinking.
Ow.
Oh, I got the
Yeah.
first one now.
Yeah. He went by Mike.
Oh,
So there was.
I wonder if Ben Dover sent over.
I'm sure yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of people, especially earlier. They hit the 40K mark. I think it was 40. It was 37K last I looked. So they hit 40, great. But yeah, people were trying to troll them with names, so eventually they just started saying one word of it or calling them anonymous if they couldn't. But it was all in good fun. It'll be on the highlight reel.
And I think it's cool that's for charity. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's fun when streamers like that use a platform to raise good money.
That's one thing I will say about the gaming community. They might be a bunch of jerks, but it's only to each other.
Yeah.
Usually.
And
There are exceptions to that, but whenever it comes to charity, gamers are like, take my money.
And I think it's cool. Like ever since I've started doing like the community section of Frazzlecast, just like how many times I've had to report on community charity events. That's always been an amazing thing. It's like people are always like donating here, and I'm amazed at the amount of money. That is amazing.
Yep, and that number is only going to go up.
Yeah,
they still have time. So I have to ask: do you think Ashar will die for the U.S. or EU before their respective resets?
Yes, if they're this close, I'm gonna guess probably by Tuesday. Now, if not, I'm gonna guess that whatever they have in like their chests and stuff like that will help get their eye level up to push past it. So
I mean, it might not be an eye level thing. It might literally be later in the fight becomes so hard they just mechanically takes that long to do. And if one person screws up, it just wipes everybody.
yeah,
That's happened before in many raids. So you think yes before reset. So you think 1 week for the entire raid to be cleared.
Yep. I think so.
I think it'll be Friday before she dies, because I think they're going to try to re-clear it, because I think it is going to be partial gear. So I figure by Friday. So NA resets on Tuesday, EU on Wednesday, and Alessandra is bringing up there might be a secret phase to it. There might be a hidden boss. Nobody knows. I doubt the hidden boss, but the mythic only phase, I would not be surprised.
That makes sense, especially with how high profile this raid is, and like with the story and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's Queen Ashar. There almost has to be a mythic phase.
Yeah. And has the mythic secret phase been even harder? Like could that take us another week?
Mythic only phase, because they can't practice it without getting to it. And there is nothing in the dungeon journal. They know nothing about it. So they'd be literally walking in blind.
Okay, so that might actually take it a week, depending on how tuned it is.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking they're going to probably they're going to continue working as best they can this week. Because they already did their heroic split, so they can't go back and do that. They might start farming plus 10s for Mythic Plus for certain items. If they see that, this piece would be hugely beneficial, let's just, take a break from raiding and do that and get that piece. But short of that, reset, re-clear. Because I do think they're going to want to re-clear for the extra items that they didn't get.
Now, what do you predict that the secret phase will be?
It'll be secret.
Because I predict something to do with Mechagon. I'm just putting that out there.
No. If I had to bet something mythic only. I don't know. I would say something like so one of those shadow tentacles start seeping into the bottom, and it just kind of like Attack of the Hentai, the shadow hentai on the floor.
You know, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Just random tentacles coming up out of the floor, and just for a few seconds, and they go away, and then they come back
Yeah.
up somewhere else. And then they would do a ton of damage, or they would add stacks of something that make you take damage or something. I don't know. Make it way harder. I'm guessing there probably is a mythic only phase. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Because it is Queen Ashara. People have been looking forward to this particular fight for so long. And I honestly can't wait for her next speech when she says it was only a setback. Spoilers if you haven't kept up on the videos. Yeah. But
I think we've alluded to things here and there. Even before we knew what the raid was going to be like, I think we kind of did some speculation on things. So I think if people have been following along, they might know.
yeah. And then the other thing going on right now is Wrath Timewalking. And normally we don't talk about Timewalking here because it's generally a waste of time if you are a raider. That being said, I mean, depending on your gear, you might get a piece that's actually worth something this time without it needing to be like Titan Forge to max item level. As an example, my Demon Hunter, it was only a 415, but it was a weapon. I had a 390 weapon along with my 400. I got to equip a new item.
Nice.
So that was nice. So yeah, do your time walking this week if your gear is 410 or under overall. I mean, actually 415, I guess, since it might get a piece. But my Paladin got a Warforged item, which was 5 item levels over what I already had, because I got that item. And I couldn't use it because the item I had a socket in it. So it was a higher item level, but a lower quality. Rip me.
Yeah.
But I'm used to that. Honestly, at this point, I'm used to, yay, higher item. Oh, it's not as good. Oh well. Heroic Warfront is out. Have you tried it yet, Fraz?
Not yet, because I need a pre-made to get into
Yeah.
it. So I
You can literally go into Group Finder and just type in Heroic Warfront or Strom or something like that into the custom section. And there's almost always a group. That's how I did both of mine. This is what I will say. It starts off exactly the same. You beat that first little mini boss, you take the flag, you get access to your base. Once you're there, some people will go to the mines, some people should go to the trees. Exactly the same. The end boss doesn't just stand there and wait for you to attack. He attacks you.
Ooh.
When that happens, no matter what you are doing, go back and help defend. Because it takes everybody. Because he has at least it seemed like he had a heal buff on him where it took forever to kill him until everyone showed up to beat him up. So yeah, come back and help defend, kill him. He'll run away. He'll back up to full, and he might attack again, depending on how long you take, or he'll be out there waiting. And then you just do it as normal. Don't try to solo anything, because it's not going to work. This is not a normal, it's a heroic. And other than that, I have yet to see the elemental area get taken. But everywhere else got captured. So if you take the elemental area, great. If not, you can still do it, no problem. But you want as many upgrades as you can get on your stuff. And if you are a DPS character, your 2 pets should be the knights. 2 knights each. Because it's the most DPS. Other than that, and that's not even required. That's just more of a min-max thing. Other than that, it's the exact same, except for stuff hurts more. Like this week it's Rokon, and he has that little totem that'll bring up the snake head and ghost snake, and he breathes fire. Yeah, that can kill you.
Ooh.
So, yeah, you need tanks and healers, and you don't want to stand in fire. Basically, stuff hurts more. But that's heroic is exactly the same, minus you have to defend and you have to not be stupid. So don't stand in fire.
And it makes sense. Even like in regular Warfronts, whenever the main boss is up, you should go and defend.
Yeah, but they send out more waves more often that you have to actually fight.
Okay.
Obviously, we don't know what heroic Dark Shore looks like yet. I imagine that's probably going to be well, maybe. I'll have to log into my Horde side too and see if it's there. But if not, it's at least one of them so far. So yeah,
I had somebody they had not played any of BFA, but they from the beta had me play one of the macros that would like show the old battlegrounds, and it is interesting that they have not done any more Warfronts.
I think they were waiting to see if we liked them before, and the general consensus is no, we don't. I don't care either way, but I only do them if gear is good enough to do it. Like, I'm not going to go back into regular Stromguard for 370 gear because the only thing I need out of that is a pair of shoulders that does not freaking exist. Because that's annoying.
Yeah, I know.
It's just one appearance. That's the shoulders with the lion faces on them. They don't exist. And the only way to get them is out of that regular Stromguard Warfront. It just has to Titan Forge up.
So soon we'll be able to solo this.
The normal version?
Yeah, I'm saying a couple expansions from now. Like how like.
Maybe. I mean, power-wise, probably in a couple of expansions, and depending on what class you are and how good you are, and maybe even before that. It's more of a matter of will they let you queue for it by yourself.
Okay, so would they just have it as a queue anybody could do, or will they make it where you lose these like the Mage Tower?
I think it's probably probably closer to the Mage Tower. Like it's this expansion only kind of thing.
Okay, and that would make sense. You want something that's a little bit exclusive to an expansion. I mean, something that you feel like, okay, I was part of this.
Yeah, and yeah, chat just brought up something because of the heroic normal thing. If you get both quests and just do heroic, you get credit for both.
Ooh.
Normal and heroic because you're still doing the Battle of Stromguard. It just happens to be heroic. So as long as you're doing heroic, you get credit for normal also for the weekly quest or the once a rotation quest. But alrighty, I believe, unless you have something else, that would lead us to the start of the end tonight.
Oh.
So if you don't have anything else news related, then we have some shout outs and stuff we got to do. So Fraz, how do people get a hold of you online? Where can they find you? That's kind of the same thing. And do you have any shout outs?
You can find me at Frazley.com. So like that's where you can find my Twitter and all the podcasts. And then one that I do every week is Frazzlecast, where you can find it at gnomepodcast.com, where I talk with different people. Like in a few weeks, I will be talking with the Draven. I don't know if you've heard of Draven, but
Nah, I've heard he's a wanker.
Hey, but we love wankers. No, that sounded
We
wrong.
are so clipping that.
Praising.
I
But yeah,
just I just set it up, and you just took a swing, and
yeah, man, if I make people laugh and yeah, and a shout out I wanted to give is there's this really cool person called at Alchemy Vendors or no at Alchemy Vendor. So just like how Dungeon Fable was at one point on Twitter at Dungeon Fable, they are at Alchemy Vendor, and they have a really cool thing. They are creating synths like World of Warcraft, and they started following the Frazley Twitter, and I looked at what they have. They have a store coming in September, but there's a giveaway, and I just think it's cool. Someone doing something different and trying some things new. Like they have like one for Suramar and for monks. So I Capo, I
thank
had
you,
to say
chat room. We're
so
gonna leave that one alone.
yes.
So I have a question. Do they have one that is since they're doing scent related things? Do they have one called Undercity?
Oh, that would probably smell like death and decay and stuff like that.
Reminds me of home.
And speaking of your home, yeah, do you have any shout outs and where can people find you?
Easiest way to find me, honestly, at Draven Dresden over on Twitter. As always, just be polite and we can have a conversation. It's easy. It costs nothing to be polite. I can be a jerk too, but I try to be nice to at least to strangers. In terms of shout outs, I'm going to give my shout out to the people who invented air conditioning.
Yes. Oh, when we were in Williamsburg a few weeks back, they were talking all about how like this place didn't have air conditioning. This place, like how much we take this for granted.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm going to give my shout out to. This is going to seem a little weird, but I have a couple of them. One, a tentative shout out to Netflix for their Witcher show. Tentative.
That looks good.
It looks like it
Yes.
might possibly not suck. Also, to Marvel, because I'm all about Doctor Strange horror movie. That just sounds amazing to me. But my main shout out, I'm going to make this way bigger, is Critical Role, because I bought a shirt and this is the design. It is one of their characters as a tarot card. Yeah, I had to have that shirt. And it's
I just
on.
need.
It's one of the few things on on what I was able to afford just randomly. And I looked at all the stuff they have, and I was like, "That's $300 and all that stuff that I'm never going to get back if I get all this." So I narrowed it down. I got that, and I got a pair of dice. And then next check, I'm going to get, I think, 18 minis, like D&D minis. I'm going to buy them.
Ooh,
So that's my fun expenditures for each check.
and did I hear correctly? Did you say Doctor Horrible movie?
Doctor Strange horror.
Oh, okay.
Doctor Strange horror movie.
That would be really cool. You get me excited for a second because I mean I was like Doctor Horrible.
I mean,
Like
if they did a Doctor Horrible movie, I'd probably watch it.
what if Doctor Horrible needs to be a cameo in Doctor Strange? But I think Doctor Horrible is more of DC. No, he's with Dark Horse. Dark Horse Comics.
Yeah, I don't
Who
know.
makes
Yeah,
the and Dark Horse made the battle cruiser that we talked about earlier.
yeah. So there is all of that fun stuff that San Diego Comic-Con, one day I will be there. But that's next on my list. That's third on my list. BlizzCon was number one.
Mine too.
been there. I want to go back, but got to figure out a way to do that. Next on my list is Critical Role Live, because they do a couple live shows a year, and sadly the next one is already sold out, so I can't go to that.
Ooh.
So I had to wait till next year, because it's per year. And yeah, there's a few others, but I'm going to leave that go. So before we get to this, I do have to mention music at the beginning of the show, aka the opening theme, was from bensound.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Give them credit, mention them, get to use their stuff for free. So now comes that point where we have that special announcement. Oh boy. So between my work schedule and all this other stuff, comes as no surprise that I've been having some issues keeping the show going for a while. I've been cutting corners between work and other stuff just to be able to make the show sometimes. I've been exhausted. So next week, number 199, and this is done intentionally, will be the last show for a while at least. Are we done permanently? Probably not. But because of the name Epic Fail, I could not resist if I was going to stopping at 199 instead of 200, which is the big milestone marker. I've been wrestling with it back and forth. Time. Yeah. Allie tried to convince me to do 200, but the idea of Epic Fail completely failing to do one more show was just too amusing to me. Plus, between Patreon and all the other stuff that would re-kick, I could turn it off, but I'm going to have to turn it off. But yeah, it was just one of those things. Time, energy. I will be around still, but I just need some time off, basically. So, yeah, next week will be the last show. Speaking of Allie, she's agreed to be on.
Nice.
And she is so confused why I wouldn't want her on, let alone for quote-unquote the last show. And I'm like, because you're cool.
Yeah, Allie's cool.
Yeah. There is still the small, admittedly, chance that we'll have other people on. So I did ask a few people, but no one has been able to confirm yet. So we'll see. But as of right now, Fraz, you've already said you could make it.
Yes.
Obviously, I will be here. And then Allie said she'll be here. So that's 3. I think that's good enough, if nothing else. So I want to thank you guys both. And for all the other people we've had co-hosting, obviously we'll have more, whatever is going on next week. But, yeah. It's going to be at least a few weeks before anything comes out, minimum. I do know my work schedule is going to be a little hectic for the next couple of weeks at the bare minimum, due to other people going on vacation, and I get to be the one to cover because apparently I'm really good at what I do. Because I've been there not even 3 months, 4 months, however long, and they gave me a key to the building. So I could literally go in and start movies at 3 in the morning, and no one would know.
There's a Disney Channel movie called Phantom of the Megaplex, and you are totally the main character of it.
Oh, I already told them that if we get the movie It 2, I'm doing a decorating thing for it. And it's literally just going to be 2 balloons at the grate on the road for the sewers. It's just going to be 2 balloons sticking out of that. That's it.
Nice.
I am a horrible, horrible person.
But you nailed it.
Perfect, yeah. But yeah, between everything else going on, I need the break. So it'll be at least a few weeks minimum, depending on everything else. And then we might come back. It might end up being permanent. I don't know. I'll figure it out as we go. So next week at number 200 will be the thing I kept teasing for a while about why Patreon meant more to me than it did for some of the other stuff, because 200 might not happen. So, as always, I want to say thank you to everyone showing up, listening, Fraz for putting up with me and letting me make him facepalm.
It made my Saturday and then and my Sunday nights. So I was glad to be able to be here as much as I could. So
Well, it's always
I,
appreciated.
you're always fun to talk with, even if you always call me crazy and make funny faces.
Well, I only call people crazy whenever they compliment me, because obviously they are crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean that's for sure. Everybody who knows me knows I'm crazy.
Yeah. So, with that, I think it's time that we wrap this up tonight. And so that means, in keeping with tradition, Fraz, do you have any last words for the show?
I'm craving some hot dogs.